The Grand Canyon is one of the most impressive and iconic places in the United States, and its geological and cultural history have intrigued scientists and visitors for centuries. Over the years, major discoveries have occurred at the Grand Canyon that have helped unravel some of its mysteries, from understanding its formation to revealing its rich human history. In today's video, we'll look at some of the most remarkable discoveries that have been made at the Grand Canyon, and how these finds have impacted our understanding and appreciation of this incredible place. The national parks of the United States are some of the most spectacular and extraordinary nature reserves in the world. The vibrant terrain, biodiversity, and unique geological features of these mesmerizing reserves attract millions of tourists each year. The Grand Canyon is undoubtedly the most famous of these places. On the map of Arizona, you can see the immense canyon cut into the highlands by the Colorado River. This rugged canyon is approximately 5 to 6 million years old and occupies the southwestern part of the Colorado Plateau. In addition to the amazing flora and fauna, this ancient wonder also holds many strange geological and historical secrets that have slowly been revealed over the years. The Grand Canyon is about 446 kilometers long and about 18 wide, reaching a depth of more than 1,857 meters. The canyon and its adjacent rim are located within the Grand Canyon National Park. Although some theories about the incision of the canyon are disputed, many recent studies have revealed evidence in favor of the hypothesis that the Colorado River established its course through the area between 5 and 6 million years ago, and since then, the river has driven the descent of the tributaries and the retreat of the cliffs, deepening and widening the canyon. The canyon forms a river valley on the Colorado Plateau that exposes Proterozoic and Paleozoic strata and uplifted peaks. It is one of 6 distinct physiographic sections of the Colorado Plateau province. It may not be the deepest canyon in the world, but its overwhelming size and colorful, intricate landscape have made it popular across planet Earth. The exceptionally well-preserved thick sequence of ancient rock left exposed on the canyon walls is why it is considered a geologist's paradise. These rock layers have recorded and preserved much of the early geological history of the North American continent. The uplift associated with the formation of the mountains caused their sediments to move thousands of meters upwards, creating what we now call the Colorado Plateau. This high elevation is also the cause of the highest rainfall in the area of the Colorado River drainage. Although not enough to prevent the area from remaining semi-arid, temperatures on the northern rim are lower than those on the southern rim due to the higher elevation, but heavy rains are common on both rims during the summer season. The first known settlers in the Grand Canyon area were the ancestors of the Native American peoples, a culture centered in the present-day Four Corners of the United States. They are also called Anasazi, but the people consider the term derogatory since it means enemy ancestors. In addition to these, many other different cultures also inhabited the Grand Canyon in its day. The Cogeninas, who were the ancestors of the Havasupai and Hualapai, lived along the canyon between 500 and 1200 BC. Paleontologists who have analyzed and studied the tracks have determined that these are possibly the oldest recorded vertebrate tracks in Grand Canyon National Park. They were left by a tetrapod or four-legged animal, along with another set printed a little later, because the second set of tracks was left after some sand had accumulated in the first set. The researchers believe that these tracks could belong to the same species. These ancestors of reptiles inhabited the sand almost 250 million years ago, before the Tyrannosaurus rex. Experts believe that it is very likely that they would have walked using a very high gait, considering them the oldest known amphibians that lived in sand dunes. Amphibians are animals whose eggs can survive out of water, like birds and reptiles. This discovery suggests that the ancestors of modern reptiles were adapted to land almost as early as their evolution. Another surprising aspect is the arrangement of the footprints. They reveal a lateral sequence gait. In this type of gait, tetrapods move the right hind foot followed by the right forefoot, and then the left hind foot followed by the left forefoot. This sequence is more stable than the diagonal sequence gait. We now know that animals used the lateral gait sequence as early as 313 million years ago. The size of these footprints suggests that these creatures were somewhere between 40 and 80 centimeters, almost the size of a modern shuckle. Spencer Lucas, a paleontologist at the New Mexico Museum of Natural History, has applauded these tracks, saying they document an important discovery: the oldest record of tetrapod vertebrate tracks from a layer of Aeolian rock. This means that vertebrates lived in deserts millions of years earlier than previously thought. But the tracks of the ancestors of the reptiles were not the only thing that was discovered in this region recently. An investigation by archaeologists has unearthed what they believe to be the oldest known human footprints on the American continent. These ancient footprints were found in the White Sands National Park. According to researchers, they are between 21,000 and 23,000 years old. They were buried under layers of soil in the national park. Investigators have determined that the prints belong to a wide variety of people, and that the majority were children and adolescents. Previously, scientists had assumed that the earliest appearance of humans in the Americas was between 11,000 and 1,000 years ago, based on stone spears found throughout North America. These first inhabitants were associated with what we now call the Clovis culture. Tom Higgin, archaeologist, scientist, and radiocarbon dating expert at the University of Vienna, expressed his delight, saying that the evidence is very convincing and extremely exciting. He is convinced that these new tracks are indeed of the estimated age. The team that studied these ancient footprints excavated a total of 61 footprints, and most experts believe that the adults performed skilled labor on the lake shore. The teenagers, whose footprints were discovered, were in charge of the fetch and carry tasks. It would not be wrong to say that this discovery is vital evidence in the ongoing debate among scientists trying to determine exactly when humans first populated the Americas. The researchers were most interested in when the rocks cooled. This is presumably because deeply buried rocks are exposed to high pressure and high heat conditions. But the cooling suggests these rocks are being exhumed or blown to the surface as the layers above them disappear due to the erosion. To date the erosion, they studied the helium trapped in the mineral in the rock. They also found that the time at which the rocks were traversed varied in different parts of the area, as the western part of the canyon cools about 200 million years before the eastern part. The size of this large unconformity also varies throughout the canyon, with the smallest gap being in the east. At its smallest, the gap spans about 250 million years, and at its largest there is about 1.2 billion years of unaccounted for rock. The big picture indicates that the western half of the Grand Canyon surfaced nearly 700 million years ago, while the eastern half did so about 500 million years ago. But within this broad panorama, there are differences of tens or hundreds of millions of years at points located within a few tens of kilometers of each other. How did this happen, and where did the billion years of rock history go? Let us know your opinion in the comments. So far today's video. If you liked it, leave your like and subscribe by activating the notification bell so you don't miss any video. See you next time.